Welcome to the Secret Garden, located at the crossroads of Sassy Lane and Divine Boulevard, where we are powerfully feminine and divinely chaotic. I am your host, Lady Lovely. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for your support. If you are new to the Secret Garden, welcome. I hope you come to love the sunshine and the occasional spring shower, sitting here with us among the lilies and the climbing roses. Take a seat under the willow trees and hit the like button as you come in. Show the world that you support the Secret Garden. Introducing Femmmagic at femmmagic.com. Plant-based feminine care, chemical-free, and 100% vegan. Gentle liquid magic comes in easy-to-use and convenient products like Kuchiwa, our all-natural fem wash for day-to-day maintenance, which will keep your yoni feeling fresh, clean, and balanced. Vag Elixir, the botanical-based restorative power that combats odor, BV, dryness, and more. An aphrodisiac to naturally lubricate your skin and yoni. Go get yours today at femmmagic.com. That's femmmagic.com. Use code SassyDivine for a 5% discount. Welcome back, Bloomies. We're talking about settling today. And I'm going to talk about the dark side of settling, which isn't actually settling, okay? It's losing. All right? So I don't even want to use the word settle in this connotation. When we choose badly, okay? When we pick the wrong man, that's the dark side. That's like where all our fears are. You know, the things that our mother told us, our aunties, our cousins. But it's all around picking the wrong man. And the real deal is that a lot of, I'm going to say 99.9, or I'll say 95, okay? I'll just give you guys some grace. Give everybody some grace and say 95%. And I'm not in the 5%. I'm in the 95, okay? I'm gonna be real with you. We're bad at picking men. We are bad at that. Okay, let's confess that we don't pick men well. We don't know how to. We don't. We are very good at choosing the wrong men. And then we blame all men for the bad choices we made. We don't even take responsibility for our bad decision. We don't vet men. And when I mean vet, I'm talking about that's you taking them through a process of screening. We don't screen them. We don't do that. If he's beautiful and he shows us he likes us, we're there. Okay? And women these days prioritize youth in men, which I will never understand. I'm not from that country, so I'll never understand why women want to date, marry men their age. That is strange. One day I'm going to do a post on the value of older men. But God bless all of y'all who are doing that. But most of the time that's not successful. There are a few people They're the same age and it worked out. Okay, but they are the outliers. Please understand that's the 1%. Okay? They're the 1%ers. So we prioritize his looks. We prioritize his youth, his height. And this is the one that really takes me out. We prioritize sexual prowess in men over character, over his ability to work hard, over his values. We spend a lot of time, among ourselves as women, discussing and deciphering a man's D game over his intelligence, his family values, his mental health, his ability to lead, guide, and protect. Nope, if the D game is in, we're there. And we will even keep men around. I said this last time. We will keep a man around just for his plumbing ability and expose our wombs, unprotected womb access we give the most unworthy men and least valuable. And do you know what we do when we do that? We often make them fathers. And then we're mad because they're not good fathers. We're bad at picking men. We need to confess it and embrace it. We need help. We need to be using the people around us, the people who know us well, and not always the females, but the men who know us well, okay? And I talk about this time and time again. Fathers, sons, brothers, uncles, cousins, nephews who are men. And they know you well. And they love you. Because here's the truth. And not many of us, I don't even think many of us are aware of it, but I got hip to it during the lockdown. There's a side of men. There's a side of a man, a part of who he is, that we don't, it takes us a long time to see that in him. But another man sees it immediately. He sees it immediately. If you take a suitor, someone you're interested in, he's interested in you, maybe you've been out a few times, take him past those folks I just named. Even if he's a man who's not related to you, but you guys are close, he knows you well, you guys share values, he's a good man. You know he's a good man. Ask him. Take that man past those guys. Screen these guys. Because when we do it on our own, we're bad. We're bad at it. We're bad. We're horrible. Okay? Our picking ability is poor. And there's a certain, and like I said, there's a certain part of a man that, like the core things, we don't see. It takes us so long to see that side of him. By that time, we are often in too deep. We're in so deep that now we need prayer and fasting to get out of the mess. But had we screened him, had we ran him past the men that love us and know men and are good men, and asked their opinion of him, had him spend some time with them, we could have avoided a lot of that. I'm telling you, probably, I would say at least 50% of the heartbreak we experience, maybe more, but I'll just, I'm compassionate today. We could avoid it if we just asked the men around us for their input, insight, thoughts about the men we're interested in, or the men who say they're interested in us. Men are so valuable, and they always will be. I don't care what technology does. I don't care. When we discount them, we lose. Our children lose. The world loses. We need to tap into the men who are in our world to help us find and at least help us screen guys. Listen, a lot, like you said, that old adage, you got to kiss a lot of frogs. Well, you know what? You might not have to kiss them. You might just be able, somebody come into your brother say, oh, that's a frog. Don't kiss it. It ain't going to turn into a prince. That's a whole 100% fraud. And you can move on quicker to get to your ideal husband, your future, not your ideal husband, but your ideal mate, your future husband. You're perfect. You're Mr. Right. Okay? But we got to use our time well, and why aren't we urgent? Why are we not working hard and urgently to find our Mr. Right and make our life with him? Why aren't we using our time? Why are we throwing it away? Hopping around from one plumber to the next. Why are we doing that, Bloomies? And we say we're not settling. Yeah, but you're losing. You're losing time. And you're still saying, well, I'm $1,000 purse. Going bad on the shelf. Dusty. Nobody's going to buy you. No, because you weren't even, and here's the truth. We say we consider ourselves, and you should think well of yourself. But you weren't even, listen, you were going from one bad thing to the next. So you've been passed about. You've been passed around. And I know that we women today don't like to, it's improper to say that body count matters and virtue is important. But and I'm in a future video we'll talk about that. But it does to men. And if you are looking for a man, a husband, Mr. Right, you're Mr. Perfect, because he's a man. He's not a woman. So since he's a man, you can assume it matters to him too. It matters to him too. So why not take the time to reach a settlement? Again, remember what settle means. It doesn't mean take a loss. It means mutual agreement. It means establish a secure and steady way of living. Coming to rest. That's what settle means. So why not spend our best, and when I say best years, I'm talking about your fertility and your physical beauty, okay? Why not use your prime time to properly find, and when I say find, I'm talking about screen these guys. Don't just go out with any old body because he look good and you like him and he make you twinkle inside. Screen him. Vet him. And once you vet him and you found him to be worthy, he decent. The guys in your life say, yeah, he's a decent dude. Why not work to come to an agreeable place where he's suitable? Maybe he's not perfect, but he's suitable. Why not come to a mutually beneficial place of agreement? He is not perfect. You are not perfect either. But he's suitable. And I want us to consider something else. Men settle too. Okay? When they are ready, they decide they're ready. And they want children and they want to build a legacy. They're going to choose the best woman from the women that are around them. They're going to make the best choice they can. Someone who's going to be cooperative. Someone they feel like is going to meet them where they are and be suitable for them, fit into their life. Someone they can mutually agree with. And that's not always the most beautiful woman. Very often it's not. It's not. But they want to build a legacy. We have made settle, compromise, sacrifice, and agreement. We've made them 4-letter words now. Everything's got to be perfect 100% the way we want it. And it's all about us. But here's the thing, Bloomy. When you're 55, when you're 65, when you're 75 and you are moving further into your golden years, you are going to want to have a feeling of fulfillment. And you can discount this if you want. okay? But like I said earlier, Google it. The professionals who work with senior women and men, when those people are in their final days and hours, they're not talking about their careers. They're not talking about their degrees. They're talking about their families. Because that's our biological purpose on this earth. People do regret not having fulfilled purpose, and they're not talking about jobs. They're not. But people have loved ones to come and look after them, and they have pride. That's my great granddaughter. That's my niece or my whoever it is. But they got folks because they took time. They prioritized family, and they took time to find a suitable mate. Was their life perfect? No, there is no perfect life. Did they give up things? Absolutely. But they have fulfillment. And I'm going to leave you with a few final statistics. And I know I used to be a person who hated statistics. And I think a lot of us hate statistics, because, I know that people say you can make statistics say anything you want. Okay, whatever. Sure. But numbers are hard. Numbers, and when I say that, I mean they're solid. They're not changeable. They're not fluid. That's what I mean. And sometimes that's like truth. Truth is not fluid either. And it can be hard to hear hard facts. When I say hard to hear it, hard to take that in, it's like taking that nasty medicine. And by the year 2030, which is not a long ways from today, where we're standing right now, Bloomy, 2030, we can almost, we can't quite touch it, but we can see it. It's not far. It's right over there. All right? 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. No more families. And on top of that, currently, right now, in 2022, the rate of black women who are evicted is at its highest ever. And many of those women are single and childless. And the rate of homelessness among elderly people is expected to triple by 2030. Again, 2030, right over there. It's right over there. We can see it. Just across the way right over there by the Grape Arbor. We can see the year 2030. We can't touch it from here, but we can see it. It's right over there by the Grape Arbor. The bees are flying around and the butterflies. 2030. The rate of homelessness among elderly people. So we already know men have always been the dominant, and more men are homeless than women. But more women will be homeless by 2030. Because right now, black women are in 2022, black women are being evicted at the highest rate. And among those women, there's a good percentage who are single and childless. This is hard. This is a hard reality, because we're not building a life. Am I saying that you can get married and not fall on? No, you can fall on hard times with a husband and children, but your rate of bounce back is much better than on your own. Everybody know 2 is better than 1. The scripture tells us so. 2 is better than 1. Blooming. If you've been a subscriber or a listener for some time now, you've heard me talking about Femmmagic, the wonderful all-natural toxin-free product. Coochie is my favorite of the Femmmagic products. Now you say, well, what is Femmmagic? Well, Coochie Wash specifically is a wonderful feminine wash. You know, oftentimes we sit for very long periods of time. We're sitting in church, we're sitting at work, we're at the office, we're at different events, and we're sitting for a very extended period of time. And our garden is wrapped up tight. It's wrapped up in leggings, it's wrapped up in a girdle, it's wrapped up in all kinds of different wonderful things that we like to wear. But our garden, which is a moist, dark area, is wrapped up tight and it cannot quite breathe. And from all that wrapped up tightness and sitting around, and of course, we have to go to the loo and the ladies' room from time to time, so we have excess this and that. Sometimes we have to do a number two, and things down there can become not so fresh. So to restore your freshness, use Coochie Wa. Again, this is by Femmmagic. It's all natural, plant-based, no toxins whatsoever. This is a wonderful wash. I'm not even one for using a lot of outside chemicals for my garden because the garden is made to be self-cleaning and self-restorative. However, there are times, even if, during your monthly, you have your intimate times where you need a good restoration, a lovely wash that's going to balance out everything in the garden and make it fresh and dewy one more time. And when you have those moments, use Coochie Wa at femmmagic.com. That's where you can purchase it. And to save a couple of coins, use my code SassyDivine to save 5%. All right, Bloomie, check it out. Coochie Wa by Femmmagic. Welcome back, Bloomies. I'm so glad that you're joining me again for another moment in the secret garden. I'm so happy you are with me, and I hope that if you are not subscribed, many of you are not subscribed, but you come faithfully, and I'm so glad to have you here with me. Well, why aren't you subscribed, Bloomie? You should subscribe because the future in the secret garden is very bright, and there will be lots of subscriber-only events. We will have a membership. There will be member-only events, member-only chats and lives, gatherings, all sorts of wonderful, fruitful, zesty occasions coming up. And if you're not subscribed, you're going to be locked out. So join today. Subscribe. So today I want to talk about this word settle. All over the internet, and even in your family, at home, in your childhood, at school, people tell women and girls, never settle. Do not settle. I'm never settling. Women say, I won't settle. I refuse to settle. And, I'm going to always look into the meaning of words. Like, you can know that, you can look forward to that. Like, I'm never going to avoid that. Probably every episode I'm going to be exploring what do words mean, because we use words very casually and we throw them around, and then they take on connotations and they get meaning, a new meaning. Actually, they take on a new meaning that they never actually had. And I think that when women say they're not going to settle, or you should never settle, that what they're saying is not taking, basically, in terms of material possessions, if you are worth $1,000, not taking less than 1,000, okay? Wait for the $1,000. Just hold out for the $1,000. No matter how long it takes, wait for the $1,000. Except that we are not material possessions. Women, a lot of times we talk about, it's very important to us that we not be objectified, especially modern women. We are not objects. Okay. So then if we're not objects, and even products have a shelf life. So definitely there's a time in a human life where there's prime years for certain things and then years where it's not so prime. Okay. So when we are holding out for the $1,000 because that's what we've decided we're worth, $1,000, and we're waiting, just simply waiting for the $1,000. If someone comes with $999, we say, no, I want the 1,000. I'm $1,000. No, you can't have me. I'm not settling. And we wait. And we wait. And we're growing older. And we're losing our eggs. And our fertility is slipping away. And our physical beauty is shifting. But we're still waiting for the $1,000. Is that what the word settle means? Because that's how we use it. So what does settle actually mean? And I think that when you look at what settle really means, we should settle. Women should settle. Find the best, but come to an agreement, because that's what settle actually means. Settle means resolve or reach an agreement. Determine or decide on. You hear the word settle a lot with legal disputes. Okay, there are two sides. They're probably going to go to trial, but then they decide to settle, which means they came to a mutual agreement. They came to a place, a middle ground that was satisfactory without going to trial or without going to the full verdict. Sometimes they are in trial and then they decide to settle. They make an offer. They make each other an offer that they both can agree on. It's mutually beneficial. Because the last thing anybody wants is to leave it up to a group of strangers to decide. We could both lose, right? We could lose very badly. So they come to a mutual agreement. That's what settle means. Settle also means adopt a secure, steady way of life. And isn't that something that we want as women? Don't we want? And those of us who want to be married, because I'm never talking, here in the Secret Garden, I'm never talking to women who don't want to be married and have children. If that's not your desire, then that's fine. You're probably never going to like it here in the Secret Garden, and that's fine. There are a lot of other wonderful channels on YouTube for you. But for those of us who do want marriage and children, don't you want a secure, steady way of life? Okay? Yes? Settle also means to begin to feel comfortable or established in a new lifestyle. Like none of these definitions that I have read to you, to me, don't fit what women do want. That is what we want. We do want security. Okay? We do want a new way of life. We want a family. We want children. We want to create legacy with a man who loves us and is committed to us. So why then wouldn't we come to an agreement with a suitable man? Because to me, that's really the heart of settling. It's not your $1,000 purse and somebody comes say, well, I can offer you $100 and you go with him. No, that's not settling. That's losing. that's not settling. That's a loss. Okay. But settling and taking a loss are two different things. Even in the English language, look up the word yourself. It doesn't mean losing. It means to resolve or come to an agreement, to decide on, reach a mutual agreement, adopt a secure, steady way of life, begin to feel comfortable and established in a new lifestyle, or come to rest. And for women who want to live in their feminine energy, not always hustling and busting about and being very masculine, we want to come to rest, do we not? We want to be restful. And when I say that, I mean like we have a place where our femininity can blossom. We're not grinding. We have a leader. He grinds. We don't grind. Okay? We're nurturers. Because after all, time is limited. When you're 22, you're not thinking that time is limited. But time is limited. It sure is. Your time is limited. Your lifetime is limited. Your fertility time is limited. The time of you being at the prime of your physical beauty is limited. Time is limited. This is life. Life is short. So when we're in our prime, as far as fertility and beauty, why wouldn't we be working to find a suitable mate? Someone who we can agree with, okay? Someone we can have agreement with. And that will then, with this person, create a secure way of life. I am so confused as to why this is not what we are all as women in a certain age. I'm not in that age anymore, but when you're in your youth, why aren't you doing that? Why are you running around, rushing around saying you have time, deciding to blow your 20s, which is your prime in terms of fertility and physical beauty, throwing those years away and deciding to wait until you're 30 plus to find your mate? I'm so perplexed. Do you realize that I just learned this statistic a couple of weeks ago? And I was shocked. I mean, I'm going to tell you that a lot of things that I say here in this secret garden, I'm saying them out of experience. I'm hoping that this channel will reach younger women, okay? Not Generation X, not baby boomers. If you guys are here, I'm happy you're here. I love you. Sit down, sis, and you too can learn. And, every day we could become better women. But I really am hoping to reach the younger women who have been socially oriented to put off this important decision. Just put it off until you're 35 plus. I don't understand that. You're 35 plus, you're running out of time. Do you know that by the age of 30, we, all women, have lost 90% of our eggs? Look it up. Google it. By the age of 30, 90% of your eggs are gone. Gone. They're gone. If you're going to see your gynecologist regularly, which I hope you are, this is why she's asking you, do you want to have children? That's why she's asking you that. Because no matter what society says, and our mamas and politicians, biology is hard facts. And we only have a certain amount of time to be in our prime as far as fertility, to make the most of our ability to bear children. First, to attract a mate, because we are at our most beautiful during certain ages. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. That's truth. Everybody knows that. It might be something that we don't want to talk about. We don't like it. Doesn't sound nice. But beauty fades. Beauty is temporary. Okay? It fades. The scripture says beauty is vain. Shout out to Ringo. So why wouldn't we be making the most of those years and finding a suitable mate? Why would we use those years that are limited to remain in a chaotic state of unrest, going from bad relationship to bad relationship? And they are bad relationships because a lot of the times we're not choosing the mate for this secure way of life. We're choosing based on, he looks good, he's fun, and other things that don't matter that I'll talk about later. And we spend the best years hopping from bed to bed and one broken heart after another. And all of these broken hearts and bed romping causes a certain amount of internal trauma. Yes, it does. To the feminine heart, that is a certain amount of trauma going from this guy to this guy, that disappointment, that disappointment, that disappointment. And the more partners that we have, the lower our success rate will be in marriage. Look that up too. Look it up. Check me. I'm telling you, people have studied this stuff and they've done the math. And the math says fewer partners for a woman got a better rate of having a more successful marriage. Settlement is peaceable, it's peaceful, it's secure, it's steady. Why don't we value that anymore? And it's going to move you towards fulfilling your purpose as a woman, to be a wife and a mother. That's all of our natural, by nature, that's our purpose. Now, you might have your own purpose as far as your desires, your dreams, but I'm just talking about your biological purpose, okay? Your breasts are there to nourish children. That's what breasts were created for. That's the function of breasts. They're not there as they're not ornamental. They're not there for pleasure of men. Men may enjoy them, but they are there to feed children. That's the biological purpose of breasts. So your biological purpose as a woman is to be a wife and a mother. So again, settlement is not a loss. We have given settle a negative twinge and made it a loss. It's not a loss. And what's the opposite? If you're not settling, what are you doing? What's the opposite? The opposite is agitate, move away, take off. And all of that sounds to me like chaos and unrest. I don't believe that chaos and unrest and agitation is what we truly want, what you want, Bloomy, as your legacy, So why not give settling some more thought and think about your vetting process? Do you have one? Do you have trusted men in your life that you could ask their opinion of your potential suitors? Give it some thought today. Be sure to like, share, or subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Today's episode was brought to you by the letter F. F is for Femmmagic, the all-natural, toxin-free, and plant-based feminine product. Femmmagic keeps your beautiful garden fresh and dewy. Get yours today at femmmagic.com. That's FEMmagic.com. Use code SassyDivine for a 5% discount. And as always, until we meet again in the secret garden at the crossroads of Sassy Lane and Divine Boulevard, go, Bloomy, get back your ooze.